have topics today? Are we actually? What are we doing today?
We actually do have a couple of stories and topics.
We got some stories. Okay. I'm gonna sit back then. This is gonna be another Jack sits back episode.
Actually, Jack, I'm gonna bring you in on a discussion topic later.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be pretty solid, and I want to hear your input on it.
Yes, sir.
So actually, why don't we get right into it?
Yeah. We may have rebranded by the time this episode comes out, so welcome to the Niche Memes podcast, or maybe still the Niche Cast.
Welcome!
One of the two, but next episode it'll definitely be the Niche Memes podcast.
Ooh, that's actually really exciting.
Yes.
What was the rebrand for? Why? Oh, right, because
we explained this last week. It's because there's another Niche Cast.
Yeah, but I have big dumb brain, so like sometimes I forget. Thanks. Sometimes I forget. So
I don't think you.
Yeah,
I don't.
No,
I think you are a smooth brain man.
Smooth brain.
Smoothest, biggest brain.
Well, I want to give a congratulations out to the Mr. Smooth Big Brain. For getting verified.
He's affiliated now on Twitch.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that first?
Affiliated.
Can we talk about that first? So I've sent an email to Twitch. Hang on, I'll bring it up. You might have to cut this part out, Cam. But I sent an email because because they gave me my prefix for my
Oh, that's right.
For my emotes. So if you don't know about Twitch, when you become an affiliate, you can upload your own emotes, and then when someone subscribes to you, depending what tier they subscribe, they get certain emotes. But how emotes work is it says, okay, this is your Twitch name. Let's use part of that Twitch name as the start of it, and then the second part of it is the name of your emote that you upload. And they've decided, okay, I'll read you the email I sent to twitch.tv. I said, hey there, just got affiliate today, and I'm worried the prefix I've been given might sound like a race joke. I said, my Twitch name is McWiggin, and the prefix I got was McWigga. So, great start already for me being a fucking affiliate on Twitch. I was basically, I even in brackets, I was like, in case it's not clear, some people use wigga as a white replacement of the N-word. Just in case whoever is on the other end of this has no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah,
gracious.
I sent them an email. I was like, is it possible to change this? Because, I mean, for me, it's like...
the optics of it are a little...
Well, for me, I'm like, I wouldn't want someone to go into someone else's chat, use my emote, and then someone hovers over it and goes, McWigga. Is that trying to be funny? Is that trying to be, right? I don't want to have some toxic community going around and doing that. So
exactly.
Anyway, but yeah,
I'm your first subscriber.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh my god, you didn't even do it while I was streaming.
Wow,
I just subbed for 6 months.
Loser. What?
Uh-oh.
It's September. Yeah, I subbed for 6 months.
What? Oh, what? Wait, so how much did you just spend?
He gets 30%
$30.
Oh shit. Holy fuck. I still need to get Amazon
You better
Prime.
upload me some emotes, boy.
I want to get Prime. And I need to set up how I receive my money as well, because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was like, oh, enter all of your bank information. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know that off the top of my head. So yeah.
I think I ended up setting that up through PayPal at the end of the day.
I was gonna do it through PayPal, but I was like, I wonder how much of a cut PayPal takes. I feel like it's so. There was an option that just says fill this out later, and I was like, yep. I'm not getting paid straight away anyway, so I'll just fill it out when I figure it all out.
You got however much of that $30.
Honestly, I'm not even worried about it.
I called the company that does my taxes for me because I was like, hey, I called them and I said, I wanted to make sure, because I genuinely don't know anything about taxes. I was like, if I haven't started making much money yet, but if it gets to a point where I am, I'm like, I want to make sure that it's all above board and I'm not, missing anything out. And she's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. The thing is, most people, like, until they get over, 1,000, don't really claim it. So it really depends how much you've made. And I was like, oh yeah, I've made like $50 so far. And she started laughing. She's like, well, technically you're supposed to claim it, but I don't think they'd care if you didn't. I was like, oh, all right, thanks, tax lady.
Well, I
There you go.
guess Jack avoids
Jack
tax
commits
evasion.
tax
Jack-
fraud.
Already, great way to start my Twitch career.
Jack gets
affiliated, and it's automatically tax fraud.
well, welcome.
Oh,
We're about to get
God.
shut down pretty quick on this one. I think.
Yeah.
We will. Well, to move away from that, I do have a story to share. This one is from, I think it would have been like a few months after I graduated college. So I still had friends there that were like in their final years and that kind of stuff. And, I'd go up to see them and all that stuff. So this particular time, it would have been like October. And I'd gone up there to, hang out with a friend because they were having like a little party in their room on res and all that stuff. So I get there. It's the normal stuff, you're playing beer pong in the room, throwing the ball and all that stuff, just chilling out. He has a new roommate who seems pretty chill and all that and whatnot. And then people start filing in. And at one point, there's like these two girls who are roommates that file in. They're like, oh, let's do shot for shot. And it's like, yeah, all right. And they're poor, and so we don't really care. And that's kind of where the night took like a turn. It went south. It's like they were first years, so they had no idea how to handle their liquor.
Mm.
So they're going shot for shot with like this one dude who's fourth year and has been drinking like every weekend for the last 4 years. So one of them immediately, it's like they end the night with puking in my buddy's into my buddy's trash can. So like everyone's trying to make sure they're okay and cleaning up, and I'm just hanging out with his roommate. And I'm kind of chatting him up, getting to learn. He's like, yeah, I'm from Buffalo and all that stuff. Come up here. I got family down there and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, I went back last weekend and I smoked some crack with my uncle.
Oh yeah, as you do.
I'm like, what? I think I mishear him, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I tried crack with him for the first time. It was pretty interesting. I'm like,
It's a nice family bonding experience.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So one dude is telling me about he was smoking crack with his uncle over the weekend, and then in the other corner there's this girl just
Dying.
spewing her guts everywhere because she tried to go shot for shot with a fourth year.
No one, you know what? No one ever wants to go shot for shot with me. Have you noticed that?
Hey,
No,
what are you
everyone's
talking
scared
about?
of it. I mean, Jacob's the only person really who's attempted it.
And yeah, and look how it ended for him.
Yeah.
I think we've actually done shot for shot more than that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We've
That was
done it a
that was
couple
the big one.
How many
That's the
times
big one.
of it
No.
do you remember?
3 times.
3 times?
3 times. We called it off on the last one because we were drinking and someone showed up. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna join in," and we're like, "Don't do it."
Oh yeah.
And they died after like 3 shots, 4 shots.
Yeah.
There was obviously the big night of the Yag bombs.
Well, I can
there was-
remember 2 Yag Bomb nights.
There was 2 Yag bomb nights, but one of them was for your birthday a couple years back.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a year ago, and you
That's
were
when
just
I-
the only one doing the shots.
Yeah. And that's when I hit 16. Everyone kept showing up for my birthday and going, "Oh, I gotta work in the morning." I'm like, "That's fine. Another Yag Bomb, please." So
Yeah.
Yeah. that was
Each
pretty
person.
But
that
there was
shows
there
up
was
and take
there
a
was a
Yag bomb.
birthday. There was a not a birthday, but a party that we had where I had Jack,
Wait a second.
Jack and I.
Wait a second. It was Jack's birthday yesterday.
Correct.
So the day we're recording this. Did you guys go shot for shot with Yags last night?
No,
No.
I didn't drink last night.
Yeah, he didn't want to drink. I was the only one drinking.
Yeah.
Jack, I better see you on stream tonight.
You want me to drink tonight? I'll drink tonight on stream. Look out for that VOD. Twitch.tv/McWigan. There you go.
But yeah, the last
Jacob, continue.
the last time that we did shot for shot, Jack ended up showing up late to a party.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told us.
And I was waiting for him to do shot for shot, so I only had like maybe a shot, maybe 2 shots. I was waiting, and he showed up and he's like, "Well, I'm behind." So he basically crushed a cider or something like that, and then we started doing shot for shot. and he got way fucked up way quicker than I expected. And then he ended up just chilling out for the last little bit of it.
I don't remember that night. Was that not the night that I fell asleep in the bathroom?
That was exactly that night.
Was that night? Okay, yeah.
Was that no? That wasn't the night with your short friend.
With my short friend.
Well, Jacob's short friend.
No,
not remember
that
that
was
story.
a different
All of
night.
my
That was
friends
a
are
different
short,
night.
to be fair.
No, that was the time where our short friend had thrown her phone.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That was a different night. Actually, even a different year.
Goodness.
Yeah. Well, because that was the night where I showed up, and again, I was behind because you guys had all started already, and I had a bottle of sourpuss, and I was using any excuse I could to drink it as fast as I could. I think I finished it in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then you moved on to a lemon vodka.
That was it. Yeah. I remember. All I really remember from that night is we started playing sociables, but we had it like with the cards in a ring, and then whoever breaks the ring has to, what was it, like down their drink or whatever?
Finish your drink or whatever.
Finish your drink. So yeah, I immediately, like on my first turn, broke the circle. And everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, what a shame! I got a drink." And then
Pray fight, Jack.
and then the other thing I remember that night is turning around and just vomiting off the deck. that was. But yeah, that's all I really remember. So.
But yeah, so in this regards, when Jack had shown up to do shot for shot with me, because that was their plan, was to just like get obliterated.
Yeah.
He ended up playing a can of ketchup, and then that kind of ruined it for him.
That always.
So
ruins it for me.
we're sitting at a tied record at the moment.
Are we?
And yeah, we actually are with the.
I still remember
with the two of those.
I think Jack wanted to go shot for shot with our program coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
First year of college.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, we went to film school, for everyone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
And we got to show our films, and then that night everyone went out for a drink at a bar afterwards. Yeah, I shouted across the bar at our program coordinator, who's this like 50-ish-year-old woman, and I said, "Hey, we going shot for shot?" And she just kept going, "Oh no, no."
I think the final time you said it. Well, I think it's time I get going. Is what she said. A diplomatic way of saying no. I will not go shot for shot with you, Jack.
I was like, "Oh, whatever. You're missing out."
You're missing out.
Oh god.
I think we all missed out that night because we didn't see Jack get completely wasted.
Because
I was the one heading home with him.
No,
That's right.
I got really fucked up, and I went home with I don't want to give his name. I'll call him the Ginger Ninja. And
Oh my!
the belly crawl audio man.
Oh my god! I have a story about him.
Yeah, I think you might have told it last time on the podcast,
Computer?
didn't you? Uh-oh.
Please. Oh, we're good.
But yeah, so I think it's all gonna have to come down to Jack and I doing another shot for shot night, and both of us are
goodness.
both of us are
Live
dreading
stream
that
it.
night because we don't want to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more of an obligation at this point.
I have a story about the Ginger Ninja.
Go on.
Can we
So I don't
change
think I've
the
talked-
name of him, because this is getting
The
really
Ginger
close
Ninja?
to this is getting really close to sounding very inappropriate.
Oh no, I know what we can call him.
Or what we can call
I
him.
know what we can call him. Ginger Jesus.
Ginger,
Ginger
yeah.
Jesus.
You know
Yeah,
what? I'll
'cause
accept
he's
that.
got-
I'll accept that.
He's got very long hair. He's full on hippie. Like that's his
Oh,
style.
gosh.
It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
Jack,
I
I'll
can
let
picture
you
him
explain
now.
what he looks like, and then I'll jump into my story.
Oh.
I have of him, because I think you can accurately describe this,
Just
this
think,
man.
Just think, tall, skinny, ginger hippie. Like.
No, I got it. I got the exact image in my head.
Yeah, and like always wearing like a bandana and whatnot. He was. I gotta say, and this isn't even just to cover my ass or anything like that. He was genuinely fun to hang out with. I would go around to his res room, and we would just smoke weed. I remember one time. Okay, I actually do have a very quick story. I get over. Sorry, I'm hanging out in my room. And he sends me a message. He says, "Hey, I got a hookah for smoking." And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I was like, "I've never used one of those before." He was like, "Yeah, so if you want to come round, we can smoke the hookah." I was like, "Okay." I get there. I'm pretty sure he had no idea what he was doing. So he has this little, he has this like this big fucking hookah, and he's got this little disc of charcoal or whatever. We're trying to figure out how to use it, and he's like putting tin foil on the thing and everything like that. I don't remember the exact chain of events, but it was something along the lines of he lit the coal, he put it on top, he repeatedly tried to smoke it, but he wasn't getting anything except for just like charcoal smoke. That was it. So that's probably good for him. Then I can't remember why, but he was like, well, this isn't working. So he just like grabbed, I think he had tweezers or something like that. He grabbed the tweezers and he picked the coal out and he just threw it into his fucking garbage can. Oh! Yeah. So that melted through the bottom of the can. At which point we realized as it was melting through, and we were like, oh shit, what do we do? So he immediately reaches over, he takes the netting off of his window, and he just chucks it out the window.
The whole can?
No, just the fucking charcoal. Like, and we're like 5 floors up or something like that.
At least.
So I'm just like, okay, cool. I hope no one's right below this window, because you will have just fucking killed them. And then a couple days later he was like, yeah, I went outside and I saw it. It was just a little hole in the snow where I dropped my coal. I was like, yeah, he had no idea what he was doing with it, but it was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's so funny.
I've worked with him a couple times. I don't think I've said this on the podcast before, but I've done a lot of like freelance work within kind of sports and that stuff. So there was one time we were doing a soccer game.
Okay, yeah.
And with soccer games, usually you don't use like a big mic setup on soccer games. Normally those big dish mics that are called parabolic mics, you use them mainly for football. Get quarterback going, hey, 42.
All you're gonna hear is in soccer is someone spitting or someone just shouting "fucking cunt." Like, it's basically what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think what they were
Half
trying
the time
to use
it's me.
was
It's
a
me
larger,
screaming "fucking cunt."
Yeah.
It was a larger American broadcast. So I think what they were trying to do was pick up just like the foot sounds or whatever. So Ginger
sorry,
Jesus,
I just want to check. Are you not allowed to say what it was for?
I'm just not going to.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Anyway, I'm working there with Ginger Jesus, and he's part of a different broadcast, but they're the ones with the big mics. So I heard their director talking to them, and he said, yeah, just hold up the mic, you point it at the ball, and you follow the ball so we can hear people kicking it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay, simple enough. So, we go through warm-up and all that stuff. Everything's pretty normal. And then the game starts. And I kind of look over at the sideline, because I'm with my one camera guy off behind the net. And I look over at the sideline by where the players sit. And there's Ginger Jesus lying prone on the ground like he's a sniper with the mic just right in front of him.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking over like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And I remember like the players would walk by him and they kind of look over and they double take. Like,
Yeah.
they were as confused by what was going on as the rest of us were.
Oh fuck.
And he did it like the whole game and somehow managed not to get nailed by a soccer ball the entire time, which was incredible, if you ask me.
You know what I need to find? I've just been thinking about this while you were talking about it. We were filming a basketball game at our college. I I was set up with the camera behind the net, and so what I decided to do was sit as close to under the net as I could, and like sit down against the wall and try and get like a low angle nice shot. So I'm sitting there for a good while. And there's video of this somewhere. I'll have to see if I can find it. of a guy going for a layup and then just running straight into me. Like full on crashed into me into the wall. And
Oh my God.
yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. Oh my God, I need to find that.
I blame that on the gym having no like designated spot for the camera operators to sit. They would just throw us in random spots and then players would fly into you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, every time.
I remember because I was a camera op for one of the women's basketball games, so I got run into by a player, but thankfully she was about 1.5 feet shorter than me.
Yeah. I've got some like big muscly dude running into me, and you got like some tiny chick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think I probably did more damage to her than she did to me.
That's
Oh
unreal.
my god.
That's
Unreal.
great.
Honestly, I gotta tell you when
Yeah.
I was when I was in school, like my undergrad, one of the big things we had to do with and as the name implies, rock looker, I do have a geology degree. One of the things we have to do in geology is you have to go on these field schools, which is like it's like a week to 2 week period where you're somewhere in the world studying rocks. And when you're not studying rocks, you're doing one of two things. You're either drinking at the bar or you're fucking around with the other students.
Yeah.
And so you end up going to two different field schools. And one of the guys that I ended up going to both of them with is this guy I'm going to call him Magic Mike. I'm gonna call him Magic Mike.
Can you leave that whole pause in there? I'm gonna call him Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. And the reason why is this guy was book smart. He had a photographic memory. He could just like recall things off the top of his head. But he was a massive fucking jock with no street smart whatsoever. So he worked out so he was like jacked. But then you'd
Don't
talk
bring
to
me into
him.
this.
You'd like talk to him about anything like that was going on like outside. It's like, oh dude, like that person's on coke right now. He'd be like, no, they don't look like they like what? They can't even get coke here. Like, are you and it would be stuff like that, like where like
This is a
he just-
Pepsi town.
he wouldn't understand like simple things like that. Like he'd just like walk up and be like, oh, this isn't a good neighborhood to be in. He'd be like, what are you talking about? This is an awesome neighborhood to be in. Like, what do you mean?
Jesus.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
And
He
so-
would have fit right in at your old
No,
place, Cam.
he would fit in
Good
perfectly. No, so one of the things that he did as a joke in our lounge is one of the other guys were having like this prank war, and like the guy just pranked him recently, and he was like, I'm gonna get him back today, like right away. So he sat in our lounge naked.
What?
He was not afraid. Like, there was snaps of him walking around naked all the time. He sat in this lounge naked and waited for his friend to come in. And this friend was in a group of like 10 students that just got out of class. Half of them were like girls. And they come walking in, and he's like, standing there, and he's just shaking his balls back and forth to try and get his friend. All of them saw it. And this is the kind of guy, and this is why I'm calling him Magic Mike. He was the kind of guy that if you challenged him to do something, he would 100% do the challenge. Cinnamon challenge, he would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're in the field school now, and his friends are challenging him. They ended up challenging him to see if he could like get one of the TAs to say a line. Like, just, like, something super dumb, but say it right in front of one of the profs. So, like, get one of the grad students to say it. And he tried all week and finally got them on the last day with, like, as they're drinking on the last day, like, hey, you know it'd be funny if you said this line. He's like, why would I say it? And the TA said the line as a prof walked in. And it was like, yes!
Whoa.
Yes, I got them! Yes! And he was, like, freaking out, and the prof's like, I don't even care that he said it. Like, why are you, like, freaking out over this?
Chill the fuck out, yeah.
And, like, everyone knew that he would do stupid shit like this. So, obviously, in the second field school, this TA had a vengeance on this kid. He was like, I'm going to get him back, and we're gonna make him do something, like, really dumb. And I have footage of this event. They challenged him to do the 4-liter milk challenge.
Oh.
No.
And the reason why they challenged him to do this was Magic Mike would go to
Loves
like
milk.
a convenience store, and instead of buying pop or anything, he's always like, oh man, I gotta get my gains today. He would buy a 1-liter jug of milk and just down it. Like it was nothing.
I mean, that's what I do at work. so-
And
That's
but it's
it
less.
is
It's
very
less for
disgusting.
gains. It's more
As
for
someone that's
enjoyment.
allergic
for me.
to it, it's gross. It's disgusting. I can't believe you do like a liter a day. Like, but obviously this TA challenged him and said, okay, if you can sit down and do the 4-liter challenge, which is you drink 4 liters of milk in 1 hour, I'll buy the rest of your meals while we're out here. I'll take you golfing. I don't like
I'll take you golfing.
like because there was a golf course.
Thanks,
where
Dad.
we were like, you know what? We'll like hang out. You don't even have to go mapping on your last day. We don't like. I don't care. I'll personally come with you. Make sure you finish up early so we can go do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, deal. I mean, I can drink a liter of milk and nothing and just have a blast.
Yeah.
So in the hotel room, he was I remember him sitting on the bed and he started drinking this jug of milk. And I left when they were starting, and then I remember coming back a half hour later, and he was down to the last liter in the first half hour.
Oh.
And it wasn't until that half hour was done that everything started to set in, like inside of him. So the problem with this challenge, if for the viewers and the listeners that don't know, if you try to drink 4 liters of milk, the milk starts to curdle with your stomach acid.
Ugh.
So if you keep drinking it, it starts to curdle more, and then you end up throwing up anyways.
Of course.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, and basically what he was doing was he was pouring into a cup and then drinking the cup, and that's how he was going through and just finishing this challenge. He needs some milk. Okay, so we're sitting there, and at that 35 minute mark, the room starts to reek of like curdled milk, and it's from him just breathing. And he's sitting there. He's like, "Oh, dude," he's like, "Dude, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I think I should just give up now. Like, this isn't sitting well with me, dude." Like, he is so like, he's like ready to give up at this point. And then his friend that also like does these prank wars with him, and one of his roommates is sitting there going, "Nah, just keep going. Like, he got like 3 glasses left. 3 glasses. Think about that one.
It's the worst that could happen, dude.
You could down them, hold it in for a little bit, get it out of your system. You win. All meals paid for. Think about it. Just do it. It's a challenge." He's like, "Oh, all right, dude." And at the point he downs a glass of it. So now he's down to his 2 glasses left. You're looking at that jug, and this room just reeks. And I'm surprised I didn't have like a bigger allergic reaction just from being in that room. Cause I was like sitting there, and I'm like, "Holy fuck! Open a window, like, god damn." And like he's sitting there on the bed, and he's like super bloated. His belly's like pushed out. He's like burping and stuff, and you're like, ugh, like it was like you're like, and like the room is filled. The room at this point is filled with 20 of us, like students, like all these guys, a couple of the TAs. One of the profs came in, popped their head, and went, "Oh, that's so gross," and then left. And then we're all sitting there, and finally, he's down to the last cup. He gets down to the last cup, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Nah, I can't do it." And it's like he had 8 minutes left to finish this last cup, and he just gave up. He couldn't do it. He ended up like trying to get past it like a little over. Like, I think it ended up being an hour and 10 minutes total. That he like when he finally just said, "I quit," and there was like 3/4 of that cup left. And then he ended up like throwing up into a bucket, which made the room reek even worse. The TA that challenged him gets called in. So he was not there. He was not there until like the last like 5 minutes. He pops his head in and goes, "Oh, just finish it. Come on." It's a challenge. Like, you got like half a cup left. Come on.
Just finish it.
Just finish it. Forehead.
Come on, finish it. Yeah, come on. And he like Magic Mike looks at the TA and goes, "Nah, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, Chief. I'm out. I'm done."
How much did he
He's
have
just
left?
sitting there. He had 3/4 of a cup. Like a plastic,
come on.
a plastic
Come
cup.
on.
He
Come on.
needed to finish this, and he couldn't. He just couldn't do it.
Come on, that's free meals and everything. Oh,
I know.
You
And
pussy
then the
bitch.
TA even came in and was like, "If you finish that, I'll keep the deal. Like, just finish that cup."
I'll
and
keep
he's
the
like-
deal. Well, what, was he
just
not
come on,
going
just-
to?
No, because it was over the hour. It was over the hour.
Oh, it was over the hour. Oh, I
yeah,
see.
because he came in after like the hour and a bit, and he's like, "Come
Yeah.
on, if you finish that cup, I'll keep the deal. Like maybe minus the golf, but I'll pay for a couple of meals a year. It's like, just come on."
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah, dude, I can't." Everyone in the room is dying of laughter, like and trying to get air
God.
because this thing is like, it's like 20 people in a small hotel room,
Oh.
so it's dank. It reeks of curdled milk, and
I hate this so
and
much.
he's just sitting there, freaking out.
I'm surprised you didn't die, Jake.
I stood near the door, so I kept like popping my head out and getting fresh air and going back in. It was like spelunking. It was like
It was.
you go in, the air would hit you in the face like a slap, and you'd be like, "Oh God, what's going on in here?" And then Magic Mike's laying on the bed, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Hey, dude." And you're like, well, "How are you still so happy?" He's like, "Bruh, I'm gonna get so much gains tomorrow."
Oh my god. Yeah, if you
I hate
survive.
that so
Oh,
much.
he did. I
That
have
is
him on
god-awful.
Snapchat still, and he just parties hard all the time.
Good on.
He is actually. I used to go to the
on.
gym and see him, and him and I would always talk about like what workouts we were doing, and he was always happy to see me at the gym. So that was some of the fun of the geofield
Magic
schools
Mike.
was fucking around. with
God.
Magic
That's
Mike.
incredible.
I don't think we did anything too crazy in film school.
No.
Unless you can remember something.
No.
It was like,
I didn't leave my room. So no, not really.
I mean, class-wise, I mean, we did like some like news shows where we had to come up with stuff.
I mean, I made
I don't
so I got one little story to tell. We had a project in one of our courses where we had to produce basically an entire live TV show, and we had to have commercials in between. So if you wanted commercials, you'd either have to pre-record something yourself, or bring in like some old commercial that like is past its copyright date and everything like that. And so a buddy of mine asks me to record a commercial with him. I was like, okay, what are we doing? He's like, I don't know. I want to make some phone commercial. And I said, okay. He's like, yeah, but I want to make it like a cheap Russian knockoff kind of thing. Where it's like obvious what we're talking about, but like also, we're not actually talking about a real product. So I put on like the worst, I don't even know what it was, Eastern European accent, I guess. And we recorded.
Nico!
It was me talking about a phone called Samsung. Oh, buy the new Samsung phones. This is how we talk now. And
Oh no.
yeah, and it was great because I managed to. I don't remember what I said, but I managed to slip in Sika Blatt into the commercial, and I wasn't in that. I wasn't in that same period of that class, so my buddy just put it on like during his show, and then I got a few messages that were just like, "What the fuck was that commercial? How did you manage to fit Sika Blatt into a fucking school commercial?" And the teacher was just like, "Yeah, that was very good. Thank you, guys."
Thank you, Jack. Very cool.
Thank you, Jack. Very cool. Oh shit.
I think my favorite time from that program was when you and I did our. So there was a project we had. It was in our second year, and we had to take movie trailers, take all of the audio out, and then redo the audio for the trailers.
So fun. Oh my god.
I did Lord of the Rings. Jack did What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
So we spent like probably 4 hours just sitting
This
in
is the vampire
a sound booth.
story.
The vampire one. Yeah. It was
sitting in a
good.
sound booth. Vampire! I'm a vampire!
We managed
Yeah, vampire.
we managed to find this little sound booth in the basement of our school, and we were just like, yeah, we can record in here, and we spent like so many hours in that fucking recording studio.
Oh, it was
And
amazing.
and then there's that beautiful part in the commercial where where the one character says, "What are we?"
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
Right. So, but there's like a
Werewolves
group.
don't swear.
There's a full group of people.
There's a group of them that say it.
And I only have Cam there to record audio for me. So I'm like, okay, I want you to just keep saying
Fun.
werewolves, not swearwolves, but I want you to say it with different inflections and different like ways. And Cam sat there for like not too long. He just kind of chucked a few out, and it was like werewolves, not swearwolves. Werewolves, not swearwolves. And I just layered them all. So
Werewolves,
it's
not swearwolves.
It's all Cam just saying werewolves, not swearwolves in this one clip.
so good.
But it sounds like a group of people. It was beautiful. I was so
It was
proud
absolutely
of that.
phenomenal.
I was so proud of that project. You know what I was even prouder of?
Hey, what the fuck you done? Oi, don't swear.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Oh god.
Do you have that saved? You actually have that saved?
I went on YouTube to get it.
No, there was a project in the first year that we did, and it was we had to record a scene from a movie.
Oh my god, the Swede the Scene.
Yeah, it was called Swede the Scene, and we had to re-record like a scene from one of our favorite films. And I couldn't figure out what to do. It took me like a month to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do the scene from Napoleon Dynamite where they're in the cafeteria and Napoleon shoves tater tots in his pockets. And everything went wrong. Literally, I couldn't find... I was like, oh, I'll just record at school. Oh, we can't record at school. That's one of the rules they've made. Okay, well, I'm going to rent at another campus. Or not, I didn't rent it. I just asked if I could film there, and they were like, sure, whatever. So I went to this other campus and filmed there. I had maybe like 3 or 4 different actresses say they could do it and then drop out. And it wasn't until I was on the bus over to a different shoot on the same day that I finally got an email from someone that was like, yeah, okay, I can be there tonight, sure, whatever. And I was like, oh my, right? I'm like, holy fuck, like we're cutting it close. That, however, was the same day that I got incredibly sick, full on like vomiting all the time.
The plague.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a different situation where it was like food poisoning. It was just a day where I got incredibly sick. So I spend like the entire first part of the day in my friend's bathroom because he's recording his Swede, and unfortunately his apartment smelled very strongly of like curry or something. I don't know. And so I just couldn't handle it, and I was just in the bathroom the whole time. Anyway, so then we get to the other campus, and I'm setting up, and I had a pair of shorts that I no longer have. I'm pretty sure I threw them out right afterwards. And I gave them to my actor who's playing Napoleon. And then I went to the cafeteria, because there was a cafeteria there. And I said, hey, do you guys have tater tots? No, we don't have tater tots. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. How am I going to do this? So what I did was I bought a bag of Cheetos. So this actor had to grab a handful of Cheetos off the table and put them in the pocket of my shorts. This is why I don't have the shorts.
Oh my god, I remember this now.
Uh-huh. And the main...
I remember him showing me this multiple times.
Oh, yeah. And one of the main parts of the project was that we had to add our own audio to it, kind of thing. So we had to like record separate audio, some SFX, and lay it in there somewhere. And I remember we were sitting in audio class. We were watching everyone's video, and we watched mine. He grabs the Cheetos, and it's like this like crunching grab sound as he puts them in his pocket. And I remember at the very end of it, our audio teacher turned around and he said, wow, you know what? That sound when he picked up the Cheetos, that was some really good recording on that. Like that's, and like he assumed that what I'd done is like found a sound effect somewhere. But no, the camera was just so close to the Cheetos when we recorded it that there was just this loud crunch. And I was just like, yeah, I did that. So I think I got points for that. I don't know, but yeah, it was. Oh Christ, it was such a good. It wasn't fun at all to film, but I'm kind of.
Oh, that was like my least favorite production.
Yeah, I think I learned from that I hate organizing things, like organizing events and things like that, because I just get so stressed when it doesn't work out and it all falls apart. So that was one thing I learned from college. I'm not an event organizer.
I just remember from that one, it was like, because we had to write up the script for it first, and it was like the first project where I had my new stapler, because I got docked all of my marks and was given 0 on 2 projects because I didn't have access to a stapler
Oh,
yet. So since it
yes.
wasn't stapled, our writing teacher gave me 2 zeros in a row, and I
Uh-huh.
had a 42 on my midterm.
Yeah. No, he was really anal about that. He was like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
you
it was
can't
insane.
find a stapler. And I remember one time I was I finished my project and I was like, okay, before I go in tomorrow, I'm gonna get it stapled. My class was at 8 a.m. So I'm like, it'll be easy. I'll just walk past some office and someone will have a stapler. Every room I walked past, there was not a single fucking stapler in that building.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I start running around. I'm like 7:58, and I'm still running around, and I'm like, I need a fucking, excuse me, do you have a stapler? You don't have a fucking, okay, the front desk, do you have you don't have a fucking stapler at the front desk? Oh my god, okay. And I finally found one, stapled it, brought it in. And I remember one period, we showed up, and he handed back assignments. And I think I got like a 98 or something on an assignment.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh man, like I did pretty good. And he gets to the front of the room and he goes, this is fucking ridiculous. Okay? You guys can't fucking figure this shit out already? Like, he got so pissed off. And I didn't realize that everyone else had gotten like 60s. And he's scolding everyone. And he just keeps looking at me and making eye contact with me. And I'm just sat there smiling. And I was like, I don't know what I did, but I guess I'm on his good side. I have no idea what happened there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I loved him.
I had a love-hate relationship with him because
Yeah.
he was cool, but he was also crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true. Well, he was big.
No,
he
the
was
best-
big into wrestling as well, which is I think why we got
That's right,
along
yeah.
pretty well. So I remember one of the first classes we had with him, he brought up wrestling, and I'm pretty sure we took up like maybe 10 minutes of the class time just discussing wrestling, and everyone else in there was like, "What the fuck is going on? Who the fuck's Roman Reigns?"
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite like teachers, and also one of my favorite moments of you in that course was we had to learn about kind of the technical side of our program. So it was this really like it wasn't a terribly interesting coursework, but the teacher was pretty cool and he did some cool stuff. And at one point in time, Jack was presenting about compression.
Oh.
And he gets up in front of the class and he plays the Hank Hill.
Do I look like I
plays the
know what a JPEG
I know what a
is?
JPEG is.
I just
want a goddamn picture
But it
of
compresses.
a hot dog.
Yeah, but it's the video where it's like compressed at the egg starts getting more and more compressed.
It goes.
I just want to, and it was beautiful. And then I just turned around and I'm like, and I just turn around and I'm just like, so compression. It was beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh my god! I think that was the same class where two of our classmates made a rap about something. I can't
Christ.
remember what it was.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta tell you.
I hated that class.
I have a story that involves a bit of compression and some wrestling. and it is a story that I actually
What
forgot
a
about.
segue, Jacob.
It actually is. It's a story that I forgot about until Jack reminded me of it.
Oh.
A couple New Years ago,
What reminded you of?
my spouse is an interesting drunk.
Oh, are you telling me this story?
Yes,
This
I'd
was-
like to tell this story.
This was the most recent New Year's. Thank you very much.
Well, it was. I forgot about it until like Jack reminded me, and I forgot how funny it is, how funny it was.
It was hilarious, dude. Before we start, he told me this story, and I could not fucking believe it. I was so go on.
Amazing.
Go on,
Okay,
Jacob.
I'm gonna give a bit of context on my spouse, and I'll get right into it. My spouse can't lie, so she's very honest.
Yeah.
And when it comes to intimate moments, there has to be a specific mood that she is in for anything to like continue past that. And no, like we have our moments, and obviously like we love each other and stuff like that. But there are times when she gets really drunk. If she hasn't just passed out right away, she gets into this mood. And I'm sitting here like, well, like I'm not, like I know that you're drunk and like I'm drunk too. Like maybe like if this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like getting ready to go to sleep, and she's been laying in bed for like a while here, and I thought she was like, you know, out, like, oh cool, I gotta go to sleep right away, laying in bed being a bit dizzy, and she crawls across the bed, she puts her leg over top of me and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, oh, like, is this what I think it is? Like, is this about to happen? And she's like, yeah, like, and she's like crawling all up on me, and I'm like, okay, like, it's good. And the exact moment that everything's about to start, all of a sudden it goes, no, and she rolls off of me and just back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, half at attention, going, what was you know what, I'm not gonna push it. If we go any farther than that, she said no.
Gentlemen,
whatever.
take notes. You don't force anything on anyone.
I'm going back to sleep. I'll tell her in the morning.
Yeah.
Whatever. 15 minutes later. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm like, oh, is it happening again? No. And I'm like, do you know what you're doing to me right now? And she's like, you know what I'm gonna be doing to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, we're about to wrestle. We're about to have some compression. It's about to happen. And this time, I'm like, okay, we're about to do it. Getting all in the mood, getting all ready.
Were you the Rock?
I was the Rock that got crumbled again, because the moment that everything was about to happen, it was no, pushes me away, rolls back over, back asleep. And I look at her. I'm like laying on my side, looking right at the back of her head, going, nah, this ain't happening again. We're not doing this. You stay on that side of the bed. I'm staying over here.
Yeah.
Good night. we're done. I roll back over to my spot. I start going back to sleep. 10 minutes later, I feel her right behind my back going, hey, and she's like rubbing her hand over my side onto my belly, and I'm like, no, you roll over to your side now. This is not happening for a third time. And she's like getting all handsy, and she's like, no, it's gonna happen for a third time. And I'm like, what do you mean? It didn't even happen the first 2 times. Like, what? So obviously it's okay. You know what? This can't just keep going all night.
Yeah.
And obviously I was like, hey, you gotta go to sleep. And she's getting like really into it again. And I'm like, okay, like, is this for sure happening? Yes. Like, are you sure it's a yes? Like, oh yes, I consent. Okay. No. At that point, I was like, nah, I'm done. Yeah. I went to sleep. I don't remember anything after that because I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning, and she rolls over to me and she goes, I had like the weirdest sleep and dream, and I'm like, okay, well, like, I did too. What was your dream about? And she's like, oh, it was just a completely random dream that had nothing to do with what happened the night before. Just completely random. And I was like, oh, so you don't remember anything from last night? And she's like, no, what did I do? She had no recollection that she did this. So I'm like telling her about it, and her reaction was, oh, I didn't do that. Like I'm like telling her, like, yeah, so you came up with on me and you were getting handsy and we were about to do it. And she's like, no, I didn't think I was in the mood for any of that. No. And then you said no, and you turned away, and she starts laughing at me. And then she didn't believe that she did it a second time, and she had no belief in the world that she did it a third time. So I was just laughing at her. She was laughing at me. I basically have to tell Jack, I'm like, Jack, I was like rearing to go on New Year's, and
Jack, I need you to get over here right
Jack,
now.
I need you to tell me. Oh my God, I need to tell you about the sex we didn't have last night.
That's exactly how it turned into. I was like, Jack, I have to tell you something that happened last night. And Jack's like, oh, you're about to brag about this? I'm like, no, you're gonna like this.
That was the other thing, is that I get just uncomfortable when anyone starts talking about that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Just keep it between you and your fucking partner. And then he starts talking about it. I'm like, why do I want to fucking hear this? And then he explained, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty fucking funny.
And like I was like told Jack that. Jack comes over like a couple days later, and my partner's sitting there, and I'm like, so you could say, like, and then Jack made a quip about it, and she just like looks there, and she like has half like big smile, half blush, and she's like, "You can't just be telling everybody this." Oh God, yeah, no.
How's she gonna feel when this is on the podcast?
She actually, I gotta tell you, she sees the podcast on Spotify, and she's always like, "Oh, I listen to podcasts. Should I listen to this?" And then she remembers back to my lesson, my one teaching lesson I said to her. I said, "No matter what you do, don't listen to the podcast."
What a great lesson. There wasn't, I was expecting maybe some deep lesson there, maybe something
No.
a little more eloquent. The lesson is just, don't listen to the podcast.
Please do not, for your own,
gonna send her
for
the
your
Rick and
own
Morty.
sanctity, please do not.
We
listen
sat,
to the
so I go
podcast.
over last
actually-
night. I go over last night, and we were playing this game where it was like, what's it called, Jacob?
The game's called Shit Happens, and you basically, the game has these 200 different scenarios that could that people like could happen to a person.
Yeah.
And they rank it on this misery scale. So like based on anxiety levels, post-traumatic stress of it, physiological damage, like all these like different rankings.
Yeah.
So like the lowest misery thing is you step on a piece of Lego. It's a 0.5.
Oh, I don't know about
And
that.
so like that's what it's like long-term like
And then there's like,
usually that's
get
the one that's
struck
really
by
bad.
lightning, 93. Get sprayed by a skunk,
The worst one
54.
94.
Yeah.
The worst one at 100. The worst one at 100 is being buried alive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's-
so there's a bunch like waking up and finding a dead prostitute in your bed, like
Yeah.
waking up and finding half of a dead prostitute in your bed, like it's things like that where it's a silly game.
Yeah, and we're
And
sitting
I had informed my spouse about me telling the Oklahoma story and how I had called him Oklahoma. She had a really good laugh on that one. The ingenuity of calling him Oklahoma was brilliant.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was great because we sat down. I sit down, and one of the first cards that comes up is like, your partner moans out their ex's name in bed, and I just looked over at Jacob and went, Rick and Morty.
Yeah. And before I could react to it, because I had a bit of smirk,
Yeah.
she's laughing at that
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, she loved it.
Oh my god. Amazing. I think that's a
too
good spot
good.
to end
I
it.
think so.
I think so too.
Me moaning Rick and Morty. Oh god.
Next week we'll do bad dating stories.
Okay.
I got
Hear some
loads.
Oh, I don't have
Loads.
many, but yeah,
What are you talking about? You have some
I have
great
one really
ones.
good one.
I got a couple.
You know what? I'm gonna foreshadow for you guys for next week.
Go on.
Santa Girl.
I didn't
Yes.
really date
Yes!
Santa Girl, but yeah. Okay.
Ah, we're bringing Santa Girl into this.
Okay.
Amazing.
Hate this already.
I'm gonna type that into topics chap.
No. Santa Girl.
Yeah, and one set. Yeah, he's typing. There we go.
God fucking damn it.
There we go.
Well, this has been the Niche Memes podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Jacob, why don't you give yourself a shout?
Niche Memes podcast. I am Rocklicker. It's spelt with an I instead of a 1 instead of an I. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube.
And you can also find them at your local quarry.
You could local quarry. There are many across the world.
Sorry, I'm just
yes.
thinking about the sentence. My name is Rock Liquor with an I instead of a 1. I love that.
You know, sometimes in my head, my brain thinks faster than my mouth can keep up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
I'm
basically
aware.
just forms dyslexia as I talk. But in this case, it is Rock Liquor with a 1 instead of an I, or R Liquor for short.
Our liquor.
And yeah,
amazing.
of course, I haven't gotten a couple YouTube videos up in a while, but with the help of Cam, we're hoping that'll change a bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got sick twice within a month.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Your health matters more than YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble.
We'll get videos
I
back
should
up
say
soon.
I'm having trouble moving my VODs over from my old computer, so I don't. We'll have to have a see. I'll have to have a look, but it could just be me starting from this point on for my edits, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, where can the people find those edits, Jack?
Well, the people who can see those edits over at youtube.com/Actually, is it? Hang on, let me check.
I don't know if that's you.
I
Noah,
think it
but
is,
If you
'cause
search up McWigan on YouTube.
No. It is youtube.com/McWigan, MCWIGAN, because I've owned the channel for long enough, so that's good.
There you go.
And twitch.tv/McWigan. I'm an affiliate now, as we've mentioned, so you don't have to
You can now subscribe to him.
You don't have to. You really,
really want to.
Sub to McWigan on Twitch.
The main point is that we build a nice little community. We got a nice little community going on right now.
Yeah.
So come join us whenever. It's cool. And then twitter.com. I'm at McWigan TV.
McWigan TV.
So there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Go
you
ahead,
can find
Cam.
him everywhere. And you can find me everywhere at Unlike Metal. That's UNLIKEMETAL. That's on
METAL.
Twitch. That's on Twitter. That's usually where you're gonna find me
Instagram.
anywhere, but also on
That
Instagram.
is LinkedIn. That
Maybe
is
one day I'll post on the Facebook page
Facebook
again.
Messenger. That is in Reddit, like subreddits that you wish you had never
God, no, I
found
don't
yourself
go
in.
on
Sometimes, if you're lucky, you might find him on Neopets, on Y8 Games, on Habbo Hotel.
Habbo Hotel, yeah.
You will not find me on Habbo Hotel.
For back in the day when it was still around, Club Penguin.
Club Penguin,
You
yeah.
could have found him on
Add me on Xbox Live.
Steam. You can find him on Xbox Live. He is on Minecraft. It is a thing.
Minecraft is a thing.
What else can we find you on? DeviantArt.
The next
we can find
episode
you
of
on.
Podcast.
We can find
Thanks for
you
watching,
on
everyone.
Patreon.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Amazing.
How do I turn this off again?